You think you know dinosaurs. T-Rex, sharp teeth, loud roar, the usual suspects. But let me tell you something, T-Rex was just the tip of the tail. The real nightmares? You've never even heard of them. Come with me into the shadows of prehistory. Some dinosaurs terrified us with size, others with speed. But some were scary because we couldn't even understand what we were looking at. Meet Therizinosaurus cheloniformis, a name few can pronounce, and even fewer can forget. Discovered in Mongolia in the 1940s, it first appeared as a puzzle. Giant claws over a meter long with no clear owner. At first, scientists thought they belonged to some giant turtle. That's how strange they were. Later, the full skeleton emerged, and what we found was unsettling. Therizinosaurus stood over 5 meters tall. Its body resembled a bird. Long neck, feathered arms, small head with a beak, almost gentle. Almost. But then you saw its hands. Each one stretched into 3 elongated fingers, each tipped with a curved claw the size of a scythe. Not centimeters, meters. These claws are the longest ever found on any known animal, living or extinct. Longer than those of any predator. Longer than logic would suggest. What were they for? No one knows for certain. Some theories say they were used to hook and pull down branches, stripping leaves in massive sweeps like nature's gardening tool. Others think they were for defense, a plant eater, armed like a demon. But the truth? We still don't fully understand this creature. It moved slowly, likely covered in proto-feathers, almost comical in appearance, until you imagine it turning toward you in a forest clearing, silent, watching. It's unsettling not because it was designed for death, like a raptor or tyrannosaur, but because it wasn't, and still, it's terrifying. Therizinosaurus breaks the rules, a peaceful giant with the weapons of a killer, a herbivore that looks like it escaped from a science fiction nightmare. Evolution doesn't care if something makes sense to us. It just builds what works. And sometimes, what works is terrifyingly bizarre. But if this feathered scythe wielder leaves you uneasy, just wait. Because our next dinosaur wasn't built for confusion. It was built for calculation. Some creatures are terrifying at first glance. Teeth, speed, sheer size. And then there's Therizinosaurus. Feathers, long neck, beak, slow-moving. A peaceful herbivore, we believe. But then you see the hands. Each arm stretches out nearly 2.5 meters, ending in claws longer than my violin, longer than your sword, longer than your sense of comfort. Over 1 meter per claw, 3 on each hand, curved like scythes, sharpened by nature's indifference. We think it used them to pull down plants, maybe to defend itself. But what if we're wrong? What if these weren't tools, but warnings? Imagine this creature in a dark Cretaceous forest, towering over you, covered in feathers, silent, watching, and then it lifts those arms. Even as a herbivore, it had no natural predators because, well, who would try? Some say Therizinosaurus was a gentle giant, but look again. Its bones tell 2 stories, one of plants and one of potential violence. We put it in books for children, beside smiling stegosaurs. But in reality, Therizinosaurus might be the single most unsettling dinosaur ever to exist, not because it was aggressive, but because we don't know what it was truly capable of. And if this bizarre herbivore could carry weapons like that, what did evolution give the predators? In Hollywood, they call them raptors, fast, clever, deadly. But those were just the special effects. The reality? Much smaller, but somehow even scarier. Meet Deinonychus antirrhopus, the dinosaur that inspired a generation of nightmares and Spielberg's animatronic death machines. It wasn't the biggest predator, 2, maybe 3 meters long, no towering size, no bone-crushing jaws, but what it lacked in size, it made up for in something far worse. Intelligence. This was a dinosaur with a brain proportionally 6 times larger than a typical reptile. Keen eyes, fast reflexes, advanced coordination. It hunted in packs. That means planning, strategy, communication. It didn't just run at prey. It flanked it, surrounded it, waited for the weak to fall behind. Each foot carried a sickle-shaped claw, sharp, curved, retractable like a surgical blade. They didn't just kill, they disabled, dissected. Imagine 6 or 7 of them circling a 10-ton hadrosaur, barking signals, darting in and out. Not chaos choreography. I've met students with less coordination under pressure. Yes, their IQ may have rivaled that of some mammals. And no, that is not comforting. They had feathers, likely for thermoregulation or display, which means they looked less like lizards and more like angry, overgrown murder chickens. Deinonychus was not the biggest killer of its time. It was simply the smartest. And sometimes, that's the most dangerous thing evolution can build. Because brute force crushes bones, but intelligence hunts in silence. And if dinosaurs were learning to think, what else were they capable of? Not all monsters walked the earth. Some ruled the oceans vast, dark, and unknowable. Meet Mosasaurus. Not technically a dinosaur, but a marine predator so fearsome it deserves a special place in the hellscape of prehistoric nightmares. Imagine a creature as long as a city bus, up to 17 meters, with a massive skull, powerful jaws, and rows of sharp conical teeth designed to crush bone and tear flesh. Mosasaurus swam in the Cretaceous seas, roughly 70 million years ago. It was the apex predator of its time, faster than most fish, stronger than many sharks. Its powerful tail propelled it like a torpedo, capable of ambushing prey with deadly speed. But what did it hunt? Everything. Fish, turtles, other marine reptiles. Even smaller mosasaurs' cannibalism was not unheard of. Its jaw could open wide enough to swallow a large fish whole, and its bite force enough to snap a shark in half. Fossils show injuries on prey species' healed bones with Mosasaurus bite marks, proof of repeated attacks and relentless hunting. And yet, for all its brutality, it was not mindless. Its large eyes suggest excellent vision in murky waters. Its brain, relatively complex for a reptile, hints at sophisticated hunting tactics. The ocean was a battlefield, and Mosasaurus was its nightmare general. So, if you thought dinosaurs ruled only the land, think again. Because, deep beneath ancient waves, an even darker terror waited to strike. But the land still had secrets. The Mesozoic seas were vast kingdoms, ruled not by gentle creatures, but by ruthless predators whose power still haunts our imagination. After the terrifying Mosasaurus, let us dive even deeper into the Jurassic oceans to meet a monster whose very name sends shivers through the bones of paleontologists, the Pliosaurus. Stretching over 10 meters in length, with a skull larger than a small car, this marine giant was a perfect killing machine. Its teeth, long, serrated, and razor-sharp, were designed not just to kill, but to shred through thick armor and bone with terrifying efficiency. Equipped with massive paddle-like limbs, it glided through the water with surprising speed and agility, stalking prey in the murky depths. Fossils reveal brutal battles, fractured bones, bearing the unmistakable marks of Pliosaurus's deadly bite. It hunted giant turtles, marine reptiles, even other predators, a true apex hunter of its time. Its senses were finely tuned to the dark waters, sharp eyesight, and the ability to detect the faintest vibrations in the water. In those ancient depths, to encounter a Pliosaurus was to meet death itself, swift, silent, unstoppable. And yet, the full story of these prehistoric seas is far from told. Evolution sometimes writes stories that seem impossible, creatures that refuse to be boxed into neat categories. Consider a dinosaur that was neither fully land dweller nor purely marine predator, but something in between and utterly terrifying. Spinosaurus, a giant up to 18 meters long, with powerful legs capable not only of running, but also swimming. Its long snout was filled with sharp, needle-like teeth, perfect for catching fish. But this was no mere fisherman. Its enormous sail on the back might have been used for thermoregulation or to intimidate rivals. This dinosaur could lurk in coastal swamps, hunt in the water, and on land, the ultimate master of two worlds. Whether it hunted large dinosaurs or was limited to a fish-based diet remains a mystery. But what is certain, Spinosaurus was one of the strangest and deadliest predators ever to walk the earth. It shattered all our ideas about what a dinosaur could be. And as we try to unravel its secrets, the past whispers the world of ancient predators was far more complex than we ever imagined. When we talk about the mightiest dinosaurs, the Tyrannosaurus often steals the spotlight, but nature loves to surprise us. Far away, on the southern continents of what would become South America, roamed a predator that outmatched even T-Rex in sheer size and speed, Giganotosaurus carolinii. At up to 13 meters long and weighing over 8 tons, it was one of the largest land carnivores to ever walk the earth. Its skull stretched nearly a meter, housing serrated teeth razor, sharp enough to tear through the toughest hide and muscle. Unlike the popular image of a slow, lumbering giant, Giganotosaurus was built for speed and agility. Fossil evidence suggests it could reach speeds of up to 50 kilometers per hour, faster than many modern-day large predators. But size and speed were only part of the story. Giganotosaurus lived during the Late Cretaceous, hunting among the massive titanosaurs sauropods so huge they could weigh more than elephants. Taking down such colossal prey required strategy, power, and maybe even teamwork. Some paleontologists theorize Giganotosaurus may have hunted in groups, a pack mentality that would have made it a terrifying apex predator. Imagine the terror of being a towering herbivore, sensing not one, but several massive predators stalking you through dense prehistoric forests. Its limbs were powerful and muscular, designed to deliver devastating bites and swift attacks. Compared to T-Rex's bone-crushing bite force, Giganotosaurus favored slicing wounds, weakening its prey until collapse. Its hunting style was brutal efficiency: bite, slash, retreat, and repeat, until the victim was too injured to escape. Though it never got its Hollywood fame, Giganotosaurus's reign was no less brutal or impressive. It challenges our ideas of dinosaur hierarchy and reminds us that evolution often writes many winners in the deadly game of survival. And as we piece together its life from fossil fragments, we glimpse a world both alien and terrifying, where survival demanded raw power, sharp instincts, and unrelenting hunger. We've walked with giants, stared into the jaws of the deadliest predators that ever roamed this planet. But the story of dinosaurs isn't just about size or fear, it's about survival, adaptation, and the relentless march of time. They ruled for millions of years, and yet, like all empires, theirs too came to an end, leaving behind bones, mysteries, and questions. What lessons do these ancient monsters hold for us? Perhaps that in the grand theater of life, the roles are always changing, and that even the mightiest can fall sometimes, not with a roar, but with a whisper. As we uncover more secrets buried in stone, one thing is certain: the past is never truly gone. It waits, in silence, ready to remind us of the power, the terror, and the beauty of life itself. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of the most terrifying dinosaurs you've never seen, imagine what other secrets the past holds. Subscribe now and join me, Albert Einstein, as we continue to unravel the mysteries of our incredible universe, from the depths of prehistoric oceans to the farthest reaches of space. Don't miss out on the next thrilling chapter. Hit that bell, share the adventure, and prepare to be amazed, because the future belongs to those curious enough to explore it.